Hey everybody, thanks for watching Cranky Gun Reviews. I am finally getting back out to the range to do a side-by-side comparison of the Sig P238 and the BodyGuard 380. So basically I've been wanting to do this for a while, and it's not going to be a scientific review. I am by no means a marksman, so what I'm basically going to do is just go through kind of how the two guns function, how they shoot, or how they shoot with me shooting them. Obviously the accuracy is not really so much dependent on the gun, it's more based on my ability to shoot these. So I have a range of ammo here. I got some Aguila, I got some MaxxTech, I got some Fiocchi, some Herders, and I think I also have some hollow point in some of these. So I'm just going to go ahead. I got a target set up at about 7 yards. I'm going to go ahead and put some on paper and we'll see how they do. There's a ton of flies out here, so hopefully I'm not going to get bit like crazy. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start out with the Sig P238. This will be the first time I shoot this gun, so for me, totally new experience. I'm going to start out with some, I believe it's Winchester 380 flat nose flat nose jacketed. So here we go. And this is out of the 238. First shots fired out of this gun, so here we go. Not too bad. I had one a little bit high and left, but again, first time I shot it. Right now I'm using some 7-round, I think they're metal form magazines that I got as replacement ones for it, or as additional ones for it. And there goes my target. Yippee. This is going to be a fun day, I can see. Alright, so let's do a take two. Still on the P238, and hopefully the wind will hold up enough that I can get off one magazine here. There you go. That's not bad for me. That's at 21 feet. I had a couple flyers. Most of those are within about a 4-inch group at 21 feet. So I'm going to switch off using some Herders. Dang it. Here we go again. Alright, switching over to the BodyGuard, and hopefully the wind is going to slow down because my target keeps falling over. This is some Herders, just copper plated or plated round nose. So right off the bat, the sights on the P238 are much better, and I wanted to do this back to back so I could show you guys kind of the difference on how a shorter sight picture and lower sights without the paint on them affects a shooter. And again, I'm not by any means a marksman. I'm just a normal shooter here, and I just had didn't fire when I pulled the trigger. So nice thing about the BodyGuard is you have double strike capabilities. Alright, so Herders seems to have some hard primers or something, because I had 2 of them that I had to strike twice. Interesting though, the 2 guns, same caliber. I think the P238 has a slightly longer barrel, and you can see how different my groups are there. Just a little different platform, the 2 guns. The trigger on the P238 is a lot better than the one on the BodyGuard, so this is kind of what you get when you have the 2 there. I'm going to reset and keep shooting here. Alright, so back on with the P238, and I'm going to do a magazine out of the 238 and then a magazine out of the BodyGuard back to back, and let's see how they differ as far as my accuracy goes with this particular gun. Here we go. So that wasn't too bad. The group's getting a little bit bigger because I sped up my shots. Here goes the BodyGuard. Alright, so BodyGuard only has a 6-round magazine. P238 has a 7. The groups actually don't look that dissimilar. The problem is with the BodyGuard, I tend to pull it down because it has such a long trigger pull, and it has a pretty strong trigger. I think it's like 11 pounds versus the P238, which is around 5.5 or something like that, and it's a very different trigger pull. The P238 feels a lot more like a 1911, whereas the BodyGuard has a more traditional hinged trigger. I mean, I don't really know what you can compare it to, but it's just a really long top hinge trigger versus being a straight pull back. So I'm going to go ahead, put some new targets up, and then I'm going to do 10 shots, or actually, you know what, I'll do 4 magazines with the P238 on one target, 4 magazines with the BodyGuard on the other target. So let's get that set up. Alright, so I got some brand new targets up there. I'm going to try to zoom in here a little bit. And again, target on my left is with the P238. I'm going to run through all 4 magazines I have. I have 1 6-round and 3 7-rounds. I'm going to start off shooting some hollow points out of the 6-round magazine, and then I'll go from there. Man, these bugs are so bad. And that's 6, goes pretty quick. Alright, those were hollow points. Let's do another magazine of hollow points here. Oh, one of those was really high. That last one I pulled bad, huh? And it's starting to spread my group out. Again, for me, not too bad. I'm shooting a little bit fast because I don't have a ton of time here at the range today, but see how I can do. Alright, so that particular magazine, I was using the MaxxTech. I had all different velocities. I don't know if you can pick up the sound in the camera, but basically I had 3 of them that felt really light, and I think those were the bottom 3. Some of them felt hotter than the hollow point, so that's probably a little bit of the deviation, but there you go. So out of 4 magazines, all of them were on the target. I had one that was really high, and one that was really left, and one that was really right. But out of that, all of them ended up on the target. So let's see how I can do with the BodyGuard. I know with the BodyGuard I need to slow myself down a little bit, aim a little bit higher than I would, and take my time breathing because the trigger is very different. So here we go. So true to form, I tend to flinch a little bit with this one. And again, if I was only shooting the BodyGuard, I think I could do a little better, but going back and forth really makes a difference on how well you accurately shoot. Again, that MaxxTech, man, I'm feeling all kinds of stuff hitting me in the face. I am not a fan of that ammo, and it is pretty dirty. So I definitely won't be buying any of that again. Now I'm switching over to hollow points on the BodyGuard. We'll see how it does with those. I definitely flinched a couple on those. Still, I don't think I've had, well, I maybe had a couple go off the paper that might have been from the last time around, but it's funny that the 2 patterns are almost mirror image of each other when I switch from one gun to the other. So there you go. There's 4 magazines out of each gun. Let's walk up and take a look at that target. So there you go. The one on the left is the P238. The one on the right is the BodyGuard. You can see the difference. I did have a couple come off the target with the BodyGuard. Still, all in all, for me, that's a 7x11 target, and that's at 21 feet. Not too horrible. Again, if that was a person that was intending to do me harm, I guarantee they would be dead, or at least really hurt. Alright, so back to the Sig P238. I'm going to go through 4 magazines again, and I have MaxxTech ammo in this. I'm not a fan of this stuff, but now since I have it open, I know it's kind of crummy. I'm just going to go ahead and shoot through it. So here we go. go. All of those still on the target except for 2, even with pretty rapid firing. Switch over to the BodyGuard now, and I'll do the same type of exercise. I'm getting pelted with stuff off of these MaxxTech rounds. I really don't like them. Alright, so not too bad. Again, on the BodyGuard, I was definitely hitting a little bit lower than I normally would with the shield, with the P238. Again, overall, 2 guns, same caliber, similar size. The BodyGuard's a little bit smaller than the P238. They both function similarly. I would say that in my hands, the P238 is probably a little bit more accurate, and it's probably a lot to do with the sights that are on it, because it does have those tritium sights. The BodyGuard has lower sights, but it's meant to be one of the smallest concealed carry 380s you can get. It's still very accurate. It's pretty reliable. I did have a couple rounds that I had to strike twice. I will probably attribute that more to the ammo than the gun itself, mainly because I know it was cheap ammo. So the Herder's brand ammo in that particular gun, it seems to require every once in a while it has to strike the primer twice. And that MaxxTech stuff, I really dislike it. And to give you an idea on how poor the quality is on that stuff, I don't know how well it's going to come across in camera, but these rounds actually have different color projectiles. So it looks like a couple of them are actually more brassy colored, and these ones are more, or these are more copper colored, and this is more brassy. But not really a fan of the ammo, but it was like 25 bucks for 100 rounds, so I bought some. I'm going to shoot through it and never buy it again. Alright, so this time around I'm going to do the same drill. I'll do 4 magazines in each gun. This time I'm going to try to shoot a lot slower. I'm going to see what I can get for accuracy. So after I do this, we'll go out and check out the target. So again, starting out with the P238. Not a good first group. High and left on most of those. That was the MaxxTech ammo again. That stuff is just garbage in my opinion. I will not buy that stuff again. So let's keep going. That was MaxxTech again. Everything is high and left. Maybe the left is me. I'm probably about 3 inches off center. Not a terrible group, but not exactly where I'm aiming, so I don't know if I'm pulling it or what. That magazine was Fiocchi, and those are all shooting low. So part of the problem with trying to get accuracy is you need to use the same ammo when you're doing accuracy training in different guns and magazine to magazine, because different ammo is going to have different weight projectiles. Even though they're all supposed to be 95 grain, they're all supposed to have similar velocity. Bulk ammo rarely is as good as they claim it to be. So let's see how this last magazine works out in the P238. Alright, so kind of all over the board. Let's go look at it, and then I'll do the BodyGuard. So that's what I came up with. Again, not horrible. The ones that are off the paper, I think 2 of those were from this round. It's not horrible. It's not the best group I've ever had, but it's not horrible. Maybe it has to do with my target being all wonky here because of the wind, but let's go back and let's do the BodyGuard. See how I can do with the BodyGuard. And I apologize for my ultra low-tech camera skills. I am using an iPhone. I did upgrade to an iPhone 7, so hopefully the video quality is a little better. You're welcome for my 10 viewers. Alright, so here we go with the BodyGuard, same thing. That was actually much better. Maybe I was shooting too fast with the P238, but could be a bunch of things. I'm actually doing better this time around with the BodyGuard. I think most of what I loaded in these magazines is Fiocchi though, so maybe that has something to do with the ammo, not just me, but... That one I had another hard primer, I had to strike twice. So that was 4 more magazines with the BodyGuard. Let's go take a look at that. Alright, so this is the results. This is odd. This is completely backwards from what happened before. So the one on the left is the P238. The one on the right is the BodyGuard. For me, neither of them are terrible groups, but it's weird because earlier, the BodyGuard I was shooting dead center, like a little bit high stringing it, you know, vertically. And the BodyGuard I was shooting low and right. I compensated for the BodyGuard, but now my pattern for the P238 is opposite. So again, for me, not terrible accuracy.